If you could only watch one anime for the rest of your entire life, what would you choose? For me, that is Chihayafuru! This is my ultimate most favorite anime and manga in the entire world. And if you have not watched it, I highly recommend that you do, especially if you like slice of life and sports anime. So this is a perfect combination of both, as well as a little bit of romance. It is also the first anime I remember watching as a kid where the female lead was as tall as I am. Of course, for Asian standards. So today I'm fulfilling one of my childhood dreams of making a Chihayafuru cosplay. And I'm going to be making this version here from season 1 opening song, as it's one of my favorite hakama versions on Chihaya. So let's get started. I recommend using Marabu's Textile Plus fabric paint and two types of brush, a flat brush and a round brush. The flat brush I'm using is a 1/4 inch thick, and these are the colors I used. I also bought a plain hakama. I first mark out where the hakama starts on the kimono so that I don't have to paint the parts that will be covered. Then, looking at the reference picture, I trace out rough circular shapes in chalk just to give me a rough idea of where the flowers should go. After that's done, I label each of the circle with its corresponding color. So if it's a black flower, I will just put B. And then we can finally start painting. From the reference picture, the flowers have 5 petals. So I drew guidelines within the circle to make painting easier. All that's left to do is to just trace over with fabric paint. Oops, my electricity went out here, but the painting must carry on. To give the flower a more 3-dimensional look, I painted the petals a brighter red by mixing my white and red fabric paint together. For the pale pink flower, the steps are pretty much the same, just without the gold outline. I concentrated the white paint more in the center of the flower for a gradient petal look. And for the smaller petals behind, I concentrated the white paint on the outer parts of the petal instead, so reversing the gradient. For areas with the lighter gradient, I added light pink fabric paint that I also mixed from my white and red paint. And when everything dries, I finish the flower with the gold center details. To paint the big black flower, I traced 5 huge petals until I was satisfied with the way it looked. Then block it out with black fabric paint. And outline all of the black petals with a thick gold border. Afterwards, I painted the rest of the flowers and added a few petals here and there. And this is how it currently looks like. To finish the black flowers, I had to meticulously draw golden dots on every single one of them. Needless to say, this was the most tedious and most time-consuming part of the hakama, but the end results made it extremely worth it. Lastly, I followed the instructions on my fabric paint bottle on how to set the paint, and in this case they say to use the iron on medium heat setting. And then we are done! Now I'm going to make the Han Eddy, which is this white color inner collar piece that they are wearing. So originally it's one extra layer of this kimono shaped fabric, but this is all I have right now, which is a piece of fabric folded into 2. But on its own it's too flimsy and it doesn't stand upright, so it's very hard for it to support the collar area. So I'm going to make something like this. That way it doesn't fall over, and then maybe you give it more structure to the collar here. Okay, so this is my Han Eddy folded in half. The same width, I cut out one long strip of fabric, probably about twice the length of this fabric, so that this part can be sandwiched underneath here like that, and then I'll fold it over. So this part here will have more structure, and it's twice as long so that I can extend it out such that it will look like this part here. It's extended all the way out. And for the back part, I cut a piece of fabric so that I can also sandwich this underneath here. And then it'll give more structure, like this. Ta-da! So I just used some white colored shoelace to tie it together, and this is how the back part looks like. So this is what it looks like with the outer layer. We need to make the tatsuki, which is this part here. I bought a tatsuki from a friend, and I'm going to follow this width and the same length onto this white color one here. It's about 1 inch, so, and it's folded, so about 2 inches with seam allowance, so about here. Now I have 2 long rectangular strips of fabric, and I'm going to connect them so that it will be even longer. Fold it in half, and then sew it down on the side here, then flip it inside out. Afterwards, I top stitch it down, and then now we are just using the iron to flatten it out. So now we're going to make her wig. She has her hair tied in a ponytail, but the one I have is her default version, which is long. If I were to just tie this up, you can see here that it doesn't really look very nice at the side seams. So what I'm going to do is take up a few wells, so maybe like 3 layers of these, so that laterwards I can use it to cover these sides here. Instead of taking 1, 2, 3 consecutively, I'm going to take 1 and then maybe like skip 2 and then take 1, skip 2. You can either cut it out directly, but I'm just going to use a seam ripper. So at the base of the wig, I'm also going to seam rip these 2 layers of wells. So originally the wells were attached like this, where the hair will lay down. But because we're going to do a ponytail, I'm going to flip the direction of the well and sew it down flat like this. And then have the second layer where I'm going to sew it on the underside here, so that when you wear the wig, it will actually hide the seam, and then all you can see is the hairs. So for all the extra wells, I sewed it on the underside here, and including the sideburns here. I should sew another piece on, so that when you tie the hair up, it looks more natural. Like this. Compared to if I were to tie this part up, you will be able to see this tab here. Okay. We're going to test whether whether this wig can withstand too much tangle. So how I do it is to just shake it really hard, and already it's pretty tangled, kind of frizzy. So to make this wig smoother, I'm going to use silicone spray. This is just normal kitchen table spray, but it has silicone inside, so it will help. Now I'm going to spray this outside because this can get your floor really slippery. And now we can start styling the wig. I've already gone ahead and cut the fringe of the wig, so all I need to do is to tie the back part. Firstly, I separated the top sides of the hair, making sure to smooth out the hair and leaving the center part untouched. Then tie both sides together. Then I collected the top center part of the hair and tied it up. We're going to temporarily clip this out of the way. After that, I just tied the bottom half of the wig into a high ponytail as you would normally do. Now you should have 3 sections of hair: the bottom section, the center section, and the sides section. Loop both the bottom and the center section up into the sides section. And secure it all with many elastic bands. If there's any spots where you can see the wig base, just loosen some strands of hair with the comb, just to cover it up a bit more. For stray hairs at the bottom, you can either trim it to look like baby hairs, or you can pin it up or set it with hairspray. Afterwards, I just set everything with hairspray too. Can you tell how much of a Chihayafuru fan I am? Thank you for watching this far, and if you have watched Chihayafuru, please let me know if you are team Mashima or are you team Arata. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!